take, how bad would this Comcast situation have to get for Disney and Hulu and Comcast to go out from arbitration and go to actual courtroom proceedings? What's the threshold there?
What's the threshold? Well, I mean, when they start accusing, I mean, if you're talking about they're accusing them of improprieties, I mean, at some point there's going to be like securities violations here, because if you're talking about intentionally manipulating a price and intentionally keeping it low, the valuation of a stock price low, that's a problem. That's a serious issue, and that's part of the allegation from the pension fund, if you remember.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
the artificial manipulation of Disney Plus prices. So if that's kind of a similar allegation that's being made against Chapek, and by the way, it forms this narrative that Chapek was doing this, and it's hard to form a counter narrative. It's very hard to form for Chapek, because Chapek is probably under an NDA. I mean, in fact, I'll guarantee Chapek is under an NDA.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's received like what, $36 million from the Walt Disney Company within the course of 2 years or something like that. He's dead silent.
Yeah, he's those are called golden handcuffs, and he is in them willingly. He's in the rat's bondage room willingly with those golden handcuffs. But yeah, no, they're absolutely like 100%, under an NDA. So he's gonna have to respond in court. So that's where we're gonna get the juice, and that's why the crossover is here, right? And that's why I love it, because in these lawsuits, we might see when we get Chapek's deposition, whether it's in the shareholder suit or in that suit, if that comes, the Comcast suit, if that comes, because I haven't looked at that contract and like what that would require. Because to me, okay, what's the situation if Disney just defaults and says, okay, we just don't have the cash? Like, what would happen then?
Well, I think that's probably their best strategy at this point, is to kick the ball down the field, because they definitely don't have the cash now, and they have to come up with whatever the value is by January. The stock price is in the toilet, so they don't want to hand over 14% of their company. They don't want to hand over $23 billion in cash, because they don't have $23 billion in cash.
Right, but if
interest rates are through the roof.
But if they don't exercise that option by January, right? Then does that go on the open market? Does Hulu go on the open market?
I don't know what the contingencies are, but the put call arrangement was that either side can force it to happen.
See, and yeah, that's that's right there. What I'm interested in is like, if it, like, what are the contingencies in that contract? Like, if they don't exercise that option, like, is there a default mechanism? Is there penalties? Is there, like, or is it just, they're allowed to bid it out? What's going on there? So that's what I'm really interested in.
I don't know who would want to buy it either, because of the way the corporate governance works. Disney still controls it no matter what.
Yeah.
And they've shown that some of the rumors have been that they operate in bad faith for their minority stakeholders.
It's so it's so shocking that Disney would not care about smaller entities and businesses. It's weird that have less of an interest. I cannot believe that Disney would take advantage of these poor. I'm sorry, I can't. Anyway, we get to the super chats. I'm not Valiant Renegade. I actually get to stuff semi-promptly. I love my boy Valiant. He's probably out there with the crawfish right now. I can just say, as a lawyer, legal mindset keeps it real. Appreciated 2012, James. And also says, don't be a judge. They were C students, just saying. Oh, okay. So there's a saying in law school. A students become professors. I think it's B students become... Is it B students become lawyers? I think it might be that. And like C students become judges, and like D students like work for the government or something like that. But anyways, it's like the A, I know that for sure the A is professors and the C is judges.
Yeah, sure. That's the old joke is, what do you call the guy who defended the worst dissertation ever written? Doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Brick Cormier says, you reminded me of something while you were going down memory lane. Where is the Amaranth divorce papers? Did I miss them? She's still doing her thing because her hubby is making her chase all that money. Just asking. Man, with Amaranth, that just... You knew when she came out with that sob story about her husband, and you don't see the papers, you don't see the criminal charges because what she was alleging was, it sounded like she was making it sound like criminal behavior. I don't believe it for 2 seconds. So, you know, Amaranth will do stuff. I mean, Amaranth, her pattern of behavior is she does something outrageous for attention periodically to maintain her relevance. And she will do even extreme things. So expect within the next 2 or 3 months for Amaranth to do something ridiculous. You know, she's escalating from like showing her cooter to like Me Too allegations. So who knows what she's going to do next, right? Maybe she's going to...
The greatest thing that she gave us all was her appearance on G4 right after the Frost situation. They have Amaranth on there in a hot tub, just showing the hypocrisy of the entire thing.
Exactly. Like these guys were always sellouts. They were always people that would turn around and sell it at the latest second. I mean, and that's what they have in line with Disney, right? Is if you actually look at their practices versus what they're saying, what they're preaching, Disney, to be very fair, is much more what they would paint Republicans as, right? So Disney tries to paint Republicans the people that don't want to pay their employees, that want to treat people like shit, that neglect people's rights, that want to, you know, trample on the little guy. But when you look at what Disney does, that's what they end up doing. They pay their staff bottom barrel rate. I've had people reaching out to me, and the funny thing is, Jonas, is a lot of the cast members, the former Disney cast, and the college program folks, they don't want to talk about it publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because they know enough people, or the people that know them, that still have like fond memories, or maybe they're snorting the pixie dust, and those people know them personally, so they're afraid of reprisal. But they'll reach out privately to me and say, oh yeah, we had buses breaking down all the time. We had issues in the staff housing, you know, people weren't getting enough basic amount to pay their rent, you know, and what they're being paid in wages. Just all these sorts of issues that are, you know, kind of the reprehensive types of things they would accuse Republicans of.
Yeah, if the parks keep going down in quality, and the parks are really the last thing that they have that that hasn't been on the decline, because ESPN is on the decline. By the way, they don't have the money to transition that over right now. We've all been trying to theorize what could they do to jazz the stock price. Cruise lines, there's not enough of them, even though cruise lines still top of the line. Really great stuff. The Star Cruiser, widely reviewed as like everything you thought Disney could be, was the Star Cruiser, but they priced it wrong. All of that. The last thing they had is their name, and they've really, if there was a goodwill value on just the name, man, that has just dropped into the toilet right now. That Axios poll that put EA on the same level as the Disney company. Like, what in the world are you doing?
That's bad. I mean, I like somebody who said they should rename themselves the Iger Corporation.
Yep. Oh yeah, like, Joshua Harris.
Harris, yeah, on Twitter. I like that. I like that quote because I'm like, I think that's a damn good one, because it's just pretty much Bob Iger running roughshod over the corporation at this point. Yeah. I see not so much of Disney and so much more of Iger. This video has been a clip of a previous live stream, and it's clipped so you can get the information in a shorter, compact package, the information you need. If you want the full video, the whole context, the whole thing, you can check out the full stream. That is in the link below. Check that out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.